Well, well, well. Well. Bonjour Boners. Ooh, we're going at it from a different angle tonight. How are you? Hi, my name's Jess Wood. Welcome to Get Wood, your favorite podcast on a Saturday night and every night for that matter. Hello. Welcome to the big No Kings Day. And hell yeah, we're going to be talking about that. But first of all, Bonjour Boners. Oh, ¿cómo estás? I hope bien. I'm wearing my wood hat today. It's not made of wood. It's got my last name on it. Wood, representing the wood. What's up? Inglewood up to no good. Hi guys. Anyway, welcome to Get Wood. My name is Jess Wood. I said that 3 times, but let's do a theme song. We have one. If you want, let's sing along. I know you know it and you want to sing. Come on now. This vertical view is it getting the Cleveland? We got to get Cleveland, Ohio in here. Hello. Big Bud, Sesame, Big Minge Energy, Rota-ta-ta-ta. That's a 9 mil melody. Bam, and you say, goddamn, this is a dope jam. I'm broader than Broadway. Yes, I'm a broad, and I'm broader than Broadway. And I'm a diddling myself. And it feels so good. Your sauce will mix with ours and will make a good goulash, Berber. Oh, yeah. What time is it? It's time for Get Wood with your pal. That's me, Just Wood. Hello. Hi. It's official now. Get Wood, brought to you by Getting Cheerful in a Very Harsh World. Also brought to you by Gen X. How do we date? Also brought to you by Spooky Season. Who takes a trip to the cemetery? Me, that's who. Woo, 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 woo. Gosh, you're in such a silly mood tonight, Jess. Aren't I always? I would think so, and I would hope so. And that's what keeps me going, folks. Just being silly and not giving a hoot. Don't pollute. I'm not giving a hoot. And you know who else didn't give a hoot? Were those millions of people who went outside today all over the world and marched against this tyrant, this fascist, this Cheeto, this orange disgrace. Yes. I'm so proud of everybody. I'm so proud. And the most that I love, what I love the most I love, I do try to love the most. But the thing I love the most about the protests are not just that we're going out and everybody's going out, everyone's able to, march in the streets and not get gunned down and not get arrested. I mean, not everybody. So I love that. But I also love the signage. Oh, the signs, especially New York City. And I don't mean to be, competitive, but New York City, god damn, you're creative. Woo! Breaking. Woohoo! Hi, everybody. Hi, welcome. I am just so proud of everybody. And I love that people are also posting the Schoolhouse Rock video. Now, if any of you, like myself, are Gen Xers, then you know Schoolhouse Rock raised us. I mean, the television raised us, but Schoolhouse Rock was like, it taught me how to be nice to other people. It taught me to, do you remember? I don't think he was Schoolhouse Rock, but he was part of this morning cartoon thing, Yuck Mouth, because you don't brush. Oh shit, you don't want to be a yuck mouth. And then people are playing the Schoolhouse Rock that teaches us all about how we moved from Europe to come here and be free and not have a king and strip down that British flag and made it an American flag. I am not a patriot. If you don't know me, hi, my name's Jess Wood. I'm not a patriot. I was raised by gangs and born to hippies in Los Angeles, California. So hi, nice to meet you. So that's kind of where my point of view comes from, and not apologizing for it at all. Just letting you know if you don't know me. Hi, good to meet you. So what's your favorite Schoolhouse Rock? I love, and look, there are the ones that everybody knows and loves, but like Conjunction Junction, What's Your Function? Like, who would have known what a conjunction was? I know I wasn't. I dropped out in 10th grade. And before that, I didn't really go to school. Do you know what I mean? I'm not glamorizing not going to school, but that was just the facts, Jax. And I was thinking my favorite Schoolhouse Rock was the one that was about adjectives. And maybe that's a telling sort of thing because I became a comedian and I love words and I write. And so the adjective one is my favorite. He was a hairy bear. He was a scary bear. So I pulled out my adjectives. Or it could also be a bar in Chelsea. He was a hairy bear. He was a scary bear. So I pulled out my butthole. That's right. I love a bear and I love a butthole bear. And what else do I love? I love Schoolhouse Rock, the skate, the eight skate. That was fantastic. Anyhow, I hope that you are feeling good about your day and your week. And I'm so happy to be here with you today after a week of really wild, fun adventures that I got into. And I'm so excited that you're sticking around with me, or you're not. And it's totally it's a free country. So far, we're doing okay. I mean, we're not, but we okay. For here, I just like to get us cheerful. That's all I'm here for. I just want to get a little cheer in the air. So, when I last left you last week, I was talking about horror movies because it's, the season of horror movies. And I was thinking that there really weren't that great, like, where are the great classic horror movies now? Like everything. I mean, I like the horror movies right now, but I grew up, there were like classic ones that people still watch, like Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween, and really like psychological and scary and kind of horrific, with the but now I feel like there's only three kinds. There's like the horror hard, like where people are getting cut up. There's the possessed doll or child, which I really do enjoy the possessed doll or child story. Damien, he was one of my favorites. The Omen, ooh la la, and Exorcist, of course. You can't forget Richard Pryor. If you're gonna mention The Exorcist, you have to talk about Richard Pryor and his bit about The Exorcist. Have you heard his bit about The Exorcist? Oh my God. He's like, it would be a whole different thing if Black people were in that movie, walk into the house and be like, damn, what the fuck is that smell? It smells like shit in here. And then walk up to the room and open the door and be like, girl, get your ass downstairs and clean up. There's company coming, and get the cross out your pussy. Oh my God. Richard Pryor, may he rest in peace. I swear he is one of my heroes, as you obviously know by now. But yeah, The Exorcist and Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, there were just these classic, these horror stories that people still dress up as now, 30, 40 years later. They're still dressing as those characters. So I'm trying to think of one. I guess the girl from what's the one with the TV and she's got the big hair in front of her? That was kind of scary. But anyway, Requiem for a Dream. That's not considered, that's like saying Hustlers is a Christmas movie. Requiem for a Dream is a horror movie. I mean, right? I mean, all the film people would say, no, it's a film, it's a dramedy about addiction and the struggle of a family and friends. Like, nah, that shit is ass to ass, hair on, Coney Island madness. Like that shit will give you nightmares. I don't care. There doesn't have to be an axe murder in there. The dude chops off his fucking arm. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Have you seen Requiem for a Dream? Yeah. You want to be scared this Halloween season? Well, I'm giving you my review. The Get Wood 4-star review, 4-star, 5-star, all the stars go to Requiem for a Dream. Motherfucker. And guess what? Go watch a video about that shit, because all the actors who were in it were like, I could never get that out of me. Like I couldn't, I can't, especially Jennifer Connelly, ass to ass. Ah, woo, woo, Rickon, woo. So I'm not engaging with my audience. Okay. You asked the question and I answered it and then you didn't. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. Look, I've got some people. I feel like I get into a thing and I kind of like to spark a little conversation in the chat, like with you guys, with each other. And I could say hi, definitely. And I could get away from what I'm talking about and talk to you guys. And that would be great. I'm so sorry if you wanted a little interaction. How do you do? And you love the times table. And I think that's awesome. And I'm the only one on here. Okay, sorry, there were other people. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna apologize. I appreciate you on here so much, and I appreciate you just coming to have a good time and not having to we have no expectations, here, because if you have an expectation, you usually get disappointed, which is so sad. You know what I mean? And but I appreciate anybody coming through and trying to get a giggle because that's all we're really going for. Um, yeah, yeah. So uh, this week was amazing. I started it off at the Greenwood Cemetery in Brooklyn, and I don't know if anyone is local to Brooklyn, but if you are, you should go over there, and if you get a moment, or if you like to go to cemeteries, I don't know. My friend and I went, and Basquiat is buried there, and so we thought, why not? Let's go for it. And then they're beautiful. The trees are hundreds of years old. I think the place was built in 1838, and so you can walk through there. And I had never been to the area that she took me to, and it was just gorgeous. The leaves are all turning colors, and the statues and the tombstone, like, it's real ornate, and really a lot of people and angels, and I guess there's a ton of Freemasons that are buried there, which to me is like Freemason, that's like a secret society. So it was kind of cool to see these statues and mausoleums and stuff dedicated to these people. Mm. So I uh I really loved it. And at Basquiat's grave, people had left little trinkets, and one of the trinkets was a dinosaur, because you know how he used to paint dinosaurs. And I just thought it was really special. There were a lot of little toys around his grave, and we learned a lot. We learned a lot. We walked around, and we read a lot of the stuff, and it was just beautiful. It was really peaceful. And I was at an art show this evening, and a couple was there, an older couple, and they were also artists, and they were this Irish older couple, maybe in their late 70s. And uh, I said something about about Greenwood Cemetery, and they said, "Oh, we don't drive up to see the the leaves. We don't drive up to see the leaves. We go to Greenwood. That's our fall walk." And I thought, "Wow, how cool is that? That this older couple is uh, finding their colorful leaves at the Greenwood Cemetery." And some people get totally freaked out. Like, I work with a couple people who are from Mexico, and they were completely freaked out that I would go to a cemetery by myself, not by myself, but like with my friend, not going to a funeral or services or anything like that. And I said to them, "Well, it's a peaceful place. There's nothing is there except these old trees. I don't believe that the souls are hanging around there. I mean, maybe they are, but that's none of my business." So that was gorgeous. I've been listening to, how you can, if you're on Sirius, my friend gave me their Sirius subscription. And so I'm on Sirius XM, and I'll always go on like a holiday. I go into like a little rabbit hole holiday music thing. Like, I like all the holiday music. I don't care what holiday. I mean, I don't know if I like 4th of July fucking music, but Halloween music. I really want to hear some Halloween music. And I don't just mean the Monster Mash. Oh, and somebody wrote something that the Monster Mash is definitely about an orgy, that it's not about a dance, that it's about an orgy. So discuss amongst yourselves. I'm not getting into it again. It's bad for me to look over at that chat. I get so distracted if I look at the chat. But anyway, the music on this radio station is awesome. It's called Ghost Ride Radio, and they have like Man Eater and Evil Woman. I mean, that's kind of a given, right? And Children of the Grave, Black Sabbath. And then I was listening, and they have Running with the Devil, Van Halen, Superstition, Stevie Wonder, The Killing Time, from that sad band. I think it's the Smiths or Robert Smith or something. Anyway, yeah. Oh, it's great. If you can go in and get into a Halloween music playlist, highly recommended, highly recommended. So, also at on Tuesday after the cemetery, I ended up going to a show, and a friend of mine came and met me, and then we ended up going to another show after that show. So comedy at an open mic, and then comedy at a book show, just getting on because we dropped by and just said, "Hey, what's up?" So that I tell you this not to brag, not to be like, "Oh, look at all the shows I got on," but to say if you're feeling like you want to do something that you love, that's like your passion, and you're like really into it, and you feel like, oh, I don't want to go, or maybe they won't like me, or I won't get up, or they won't, give yourself, have faith and give yourself a break. Go and treat yourself. Like, treat yourself. It'll be fun. Make it an adventure. Don't make it like with some, again, expectation attached to it. Just going to create, going to put yourself out there. Even if you don't get up on stage, you went and you said hi to the people, or even if you didn't sell anything at the market, you went and you put your wares out, or even if you didn't get a tip in your G string, you went and you slid on that pole. Like, whatever it is that you do, whatever is your passion, go and do it and follow it, because that is the only way to keep yourself happy. You can doom scroll all you want. You can go and, get on someone's live and tell them they're not doing a good job. You can do whatever makes you feel better. But I promise you, if you do you, and even a lot of diddling is definitely, I encourage that as well. So, yeah, uh, show upon show upon show, because I said to my friend, and I said to myself, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Let's go. Mhm. Then I went, rewarded. Another time that happened this week was on Thursday when I went up to see my friend. Well, first I went to the doctor, and I know it's not riveting to tell you about the doctor, but the thing is, here's another thing I want to tell you. Go to the doctor. I'm here as your friend, and I want to encourage you to take care of yourself. And it's not just like go and do your passion. Go to the doctor, go get a checkup, go make sure you're doing okay. We got to be healthy, in order to get through all this, and our mental health as well as our physical health. So I schlepped out to fucking Coney Island, and I went to see my Russian doctor. Oh, he loved Jesse. We love to see you here. You're so funny, and you make us laugh, and I think you're so healthy. And I go, thanks. You think I'm healthy? Like the guy who took my blood, he goes, "Are you still smoking cigarettes?" And I go, "Yeah, I am." And he goes, "How many you smoke?" And I said, like 3 or 4 a day, maybe something like that. And he goes, "Oh, you're fine." Like, have you ever gotten a doctor? Well, he was the doctor's office, like the blood guy, right? Then I started laughing and I said, "Well, the doctor would say that not even one is good." And he goes, "Well, she's the doctor." So it's like he can kind of tell me the truth, that she's got to be strict, don't be smoking, Jessica. So he was like, "Whatever, you're fine." So, and also in Coney Island, because I used to live there and I know these Russian folks, they're smoking packs a day. I mean, that's like a lot of cigarettes over in Brighton Beach and Coney Island. So, felt pretty good about that. Saw them again, nervous. I'll tell you, I always tell you the truth. Nervous before I went, anxious the morning of, couldn't really, I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to get a high blood pressure, a high heart rate, or whatever the fuck. I want to be healthy. So I made sure I just had a little tiny black cup of coffee so I wouldn't have a headache, and nothing in it because that'll fuck with your blood test. A little bit of exercise, like a little bit, just to calm me down, little meditation. And then there I was at the doctor, and swoop and bam, and it was all good. And there, Jesse, it was very good to see you, Jesse. I'll call you about your blood test. Okay, great. I'm out of here. So then I schlep all up to the Upper East Side of Manhattan. Now, I mean, if you don't know New York City, I'm going to tell you right now, Coney Island is the end of the island, the beach, the end, the tip. There's an airport nearby, like JFK is near there. It's very far on the island, and that's why the Russians feel very comfortable there. It's very windy, very cold in the winter. So the Upper East Side, however, very like wealthy whites and very waspy, and there are some Jews, but it's a very old kind of money, very like my mother's affected voice, a little bit like that. So I went to meet my friend, and I went to meet her at her job, and she works at the Irish Society, the Irish Historical Society. And she ended up taking me inside, and it's this beautiful old building, again, like the cemetery, built in the 1800s, Fifth Avenue and 80th Street. Glorious, just glorious. And hey now, say now, Ba, 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 ba. I was in the Irish Historical Society, and she said to me, "Oh, Jessie, would you like to?" Say, and I'm gonna make her sound like a leprechaun, but she really is like an Irish lady. And so she said, "Oh, Jessica, would you like to come inside and take the elevator and see the maids' quarters and the old, upstairs and the?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I do!" So we got into this creaky old elevator that had been installed in this building in like 1928 or something, and the iron like, and I said, "Oh my God, Fiona, could we get stuck in here?" And she said, "Well, I do hope that you have your what did she say? Have you got your cell phone on you?" I said, "Yeah, I have my cell phone." She goes, "Well, then we should be all right." And so I was like, "You mean if we get stuck, we should be all right? Because I got my cell phone." Oh shit. So we take these up, and there's a spiral staircase that's just a wee wide, just a wee bit. And we go up the staircase, and we're now in the maid's quarters of the thing. And there's no heat, there's no air. Like, it is wild. Like, they're just these little tiny, tiny rooms. She goes, "But I bet you could rent it out for $4,000, don't you think? Because it's like New York City and it's on 80th and 5th. You could rent this room out for $4,000. And I said, "Yeah." And I'm horrible at her accent. And so I said, "Yeah, I know." So then I told her, I said, "I'm going to see Edward Gorey." Not him, he's been dead for a very long time, but Edward Gorey is an illustrator and a writer, and they were having a opening of his art down at the Museum of Illustrations down on 63rd Street on the east side. So I said, "Come, let's go. Let's come walk with me. Let's take a walk and go see art." And she said, "Oh, wonderful." And she said, Jess, you've got great crack." And I said, "What?" And she said, "Well, you've got great crack. Whenever I'm with you, we have a great crack." And I was like, "Tell me again what that means." And she said, "Conversation." Okay, because here it means something different. And so that was a hoot. Or smoke a little weed on the way down to the Illustrators Museum of Illustrations, and we go in, and it's quite crowded, and every man has on like a jaunty hat, a very hip and jaunty hat he's got on, and every woman has like a statement necklace, and everyone's a bit older and a bit pulled together and very upper east side art. How do you do? And the Edward Gorey wrote a book when I was a little kid. I mean, I think came out way before I was born, but it's called Allegory, and it's an A to Z, like a children's book, and it's A to Z, and everything stands for everything, and it's every letter stands for a child's name. So A is for Amy, who fell down the stairs. B is for Bryce, who perished of fits. C is for Claire, who died of the fever. Like, it's sickening. And I was raised on this book, that and The Exorcist, and I can't see how I could possibly be like this now. And so the Allegory book was Edward Gorey, and we were at the Gorey show, and this woman got up and she spoke about Edward Gorey and curating the show, and she said that she had heard a voice when she thought of curating the show at the museum. She had the book of Edward Gorey's, and she'd put it down, and then when she was getting ready to lock up, the book was gone. And then when she was getting to leave, she heard her name, Amy, be said, and she almost fell down the stairs. A is for Amy, who fell down the stairs. So it was a ghost story in itself at the Museum of Illustrators. Well, And if you don't know Edward Gorey, please go and look him up. And if you're old like a Gen Xer or older or old millennial, then you know the Alfred Hitchcock Hour. He had that line drawing. Gorey did that. He also did the Addams Family, the line drawings, the black and white, eerie kind of line drawing. A lot of his people had hats. So I believe that's why a lot of the men had hats on at this art show. So, yes. Now let's get on to the reason you're here, to the whole reason you tuned in tonight, and that is you are curious. Jess Wood, what do you make of the ultimate bush? Now, I've heard of the ultimate, sandwich, or the ultimate car crash, or the ultimate dynamic duo. But what about the ultimate bush? Kim Kardashian's line of underpants that have a built-in bush. You ask, what do you think of this, Jess Wood? And I tell you, been done. It's been done. It's called a Merkin. If you didn't know it's called a Merkin, I'm so excited that I get to tell you that it's called a Merkin and that it's actually was invented very, 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 very far back in the ages of the medieval, I believe the medieval ages, when the people had when the royals could shave their pubes because of uh lice and crabs because it was so prevalent back then. I know, a dirty, dirty, dirty time when people threw their buckets of poo and pee out their windows and you just hoped you weren't walking by. So a merkin was a pubic wig that they made in the dark ages for the royals who could afford to buy a pubic wig. And apparently the royals is still making the pubic wigs because here we are again, Kardashians. History is bound to repeat itself, people. And now there is the ultimate bush. And I don't, I, has everyone electrolysis and lasered off their pubes? This is why trends in beauty don't work. This is why I'm going to tell you trends in beauty don't work. If you're doing something to yourself that hurts you and that you think, oh, this is because this is what I have to be like right now, I beg of you, do not hurt yourself. Do not hurt yourself. Do not go to these lengths because guess what? It's all going to come full circle again. Big eyebrows, small lips, a little ass. Like there's things come full circle. Things are beautiful for this time and then they're not for that time. That means that everyone is beautiful. That's what that means. It doesn't mean that everybody needs to change what they are, who they are, what they look like. It means that we're all really beautiful how we are. You just have to wait for your time to come back. Because it all comes, it's like fashion. Anyway, good luck with your Merkins if you're out shopping for one. I hope you find one that fits you and that you feel comfortable in. Because listen, we're here, we're talking about stuff, but we're hopefully not too judgmental. My anger comes with my want of you to love yourself and give yourself kindness and treat yourself gently and not call yourself names or think badly of yourself or talk down to yourself. Do you know that I practice it so often? I practice it all the time. You see me on here practicing it a lot of the time, practicing not calling myself a name, practicing being kinder to myself. Just practice. It's practice. It's practice. And if you feel good doing what you're doing or not doing what you're doing, whatever you're doing that makes you feel good, that doesn't hurt you or anyone else, you know I am supportive. And I love that. And that's why I want to talk to you every week because I want to tell you you're doing a great job. Girl, you're doing a good job. Girl, you're doing a good job, girl. And also, before I leave, I want to just say, rest in. I wish we saw your penis, D'Angelo. Um, I really, 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 really thought he was just divine, 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 divine. So talented. And again, 3 albums in his lifetime, only 3. And yet he was such a huge influence on music and his style, his sound, his vibe, his energy, his person. And it's just, I hope that we can see more people doing what he's done and be able to carry on that kind of beautiful energy, and that more people can be touched by that and we can fucking try to balance out all the anger and hate and disruptive situations that are happening right now, and that we can really be a community that we deserve to be and love one another as we deserve to be loved and receive that love as well. Because I know it's very hard to receive love. I've talked about that on here before, especially if you weren't really raised by anybody and you were kind of left on your own. And, you know, I just am here and I wanted to show up for everybody and however many or however many not, or who I answered or who I didn't answer. I hope everybody's having a beautiful Saturday night. And I'll say it again. I'm going to leave you with this, though. Here's a teaser. Uh, Tune in next week when I talk about almost getting arrested for picking flowers. Stay tuned. That's right. It's a teaser. And please, if you like and subscribe, and also you can go listen to podcasts from the past on all the podcast platforms. And if you would leave 5 stars and a review and all that goody good stuff. All right. I love you so much for watching. I love you for listening. I love you for doing what makes you feel good and not hurting yourself or hurting anybody else. And we're making the changes. We're showing up. We're making our voices heard. And I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of us. Okay. I'll see you next week. I love ya. Goodbye. I